Recently, Rick Perry was asked about Donald Trump and some of his many flaws, and he had this to say about the current president.
God's used imperfect people all through history. King David wasn't perfect. Saul wasn't perfect. Solomon wasn't perfect. And I actually gave the president a little one-pager on those Old Testament kings about a month ago. And I shared it with him. I said, Mr. President, I know there are people that say, you know, you said you were the chosen one. And I said, you were. I said, if you're a believing Christian, you understand God's plan for the people who rule and judge over us on this planet in our government.
So that is Rick Perry, who is, of course, he's now out of the administration. But what did you think about him talking about Trump, not as like the democratically chosen president, but as the guy who God chose to hold that position?
I mean, from personal perspective, I mean, I'm agnostic. I really loathe the intermingling of religion and politics, and especially how the religious right has used Christianity as a cudgel over the years. This is deeply alarming. And this also reflects a pattern of increased aggression on this front that Chris Hedges laid out in his early 2000s book, American Fascists. Great read. Everyone should check it out, especially right now. Because what you just saw is the end result of a decades-long campaign by fundamentalist religious organizations to further the cause of Christianity using the Republican Party as a vessel. Do you really think that God is deeply invested in American politics, if anything? And by that own logic, if a higher power picked Trump to be the chosen one, couldn't you similarly say the same thing about Obama or Clinton or the Bushes? I mean, this is purely like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think in Rick Perry's defense, there is a portion of the Bible that does talk about someone like Trump, but it's near the end. But then also, like Rick Perry, like from the point of view of a Christian, Rick Perry's 100% right. Everything is according to God's plan, and so based on that, Trump was chosen based on God's plan. But the thing is, like, as you point out, if you were to press him, I bet he would say, then yes, Obama is also there because of God's plan. But the thing is, they don't talk about it when it's a Democrat. Suddenly it's not like, yes, the will of God in the White House. It's only when it's a Republican that it becomes this big thing that they feel like they need to talk about.
Right, I mean, if you remember, Obama was a self-professed Christian. He went to Reverend Wright's church, which became its own scandal in itself because of his comments. But despite all that, they still claimed he was a Muslim. And this is just part of this dominionist, this fundamentalist view from religious right, where, you know, this is God's plan and it's only for us, and everything to our left is secular. Anything science-based needs to be eradicated. We have this view. This is a dominionist. You know, this is God's plan. It's deeply alarming that it has gotten this far. And also the people that are furthering these viewpoints and have been for years, Trump is not only like, you know, blowing kisses and winking at them, he's inviting them into the White House.
Yeah.
He just hired Paula White. This is really, really scary, and it is only gonna get worse from here.
I agree. Now, the fun part, because that was Rick Perry as of this week, talking about Trump being the chosen one. Rick Perry back in 2015, though, he was talking about Trump in kind of different terms. Take a look at this.
The White House has been occupied by giants, but from time it is sought by the small-minded, the divisive figures, propelled by anger, appealing to the worst instincts in the human condition. A barking carnival act that can best be described as Trumpism. A toxic mix of demagoguery and mean-spiritedness and nonsense that will lead the Republican Party to perdition if pursued. Let no one be mistaken. Donald Trump's candidacy is a cancer on conservatism, and it must be clearly diagnosed, excised, and discarded. Donald Trump was born into privilege. He received deferments to avoid service in Vietnam. He breathes the free air thousands of heroes died protecting. And he couldn't have endured for 5 minutes what John McCain endured for 5.5 years. My fellow Republicans, beware of false prophets.
So two things. One, really fast, that's the most articulate Rick Perry has literally ever been in his entire life. And two, that's harsher than I've ever been of Donald Trump, I think, on this program.
Yeah, I mean, some pretty strong words there from Rick Perry. But of course, he's done a complete and total 180 now that he stands to benefit from Trump in the White House. This just shows that, like, the Republican Party is a party full of demagogues who have, no spine, no morals, no integrity. They all are careerists, self-serving, self-aggrandizing. And we've seen this not just from Rick Perry, but other people like Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz, who were so outspoken about the dangers of Donald Trump. We can't elect this guy. It's so bad. Oh, but now he's in the White House. He's our buddy. He's our guy. God picked him to run the country. Yeah. They stand for nothing.
Yeah. And look, by the way, it's not even inconsistent. Like, Rick Perry could both believe it's God's plan and Trump is a horrible, horrible, horrible person. But maybe you don't have to speak about him in such flowery terms now. You could be consistent. But what we have noticed over the past few years, as you pointed out with a lot of these people, is over time, those who are opposed to Donald Trump, they still want to be in on the power on the right. And to do that, you have to be supportive of Donald Trump at this point. Thank you for watching this clip from The Damage Report. For more content from the show and access to TYT Network members-only exclusives, go to tyt.com/Brooke. Wait. No, it's tyt.com/John. Go to tyt.com/John to sign up.